What's up, folks? Welcome to Token Rock episode 2. I'm your host, Mike, and tonight I'm joined by a fellow partner in crime all the way from Germany, Rainer. Welcome aboard, buddy. How are you doing?
Hi, Michael. I'm doing very well, I have to say. And I'm looking forward to have another great session together with you. This time with Iron Maiden will be fantastic. I'm, I'm,
Oh,
I'm absolutely sure it will be fantastic.
for those who don't know, Rainer was in the episode 1 when we were taking a deep dive into Dream Theater's catalog. It was actually a pleasure and a very, very long discussion there. So go check that out. And tonight we're talking about we're gonna analyze the whole catalog of the freaking Iron Maiden. So we have a lot to to dig in. A long road ahead, and 17 albums to be exact. And as Rainer said today, this day exactly, 14th of April, 40 years ago, right? The debut album was officially released from the band. Wow.
Yeah, 14th of April 1980. That was the release date of the album Iron Maiden from Iron Maiden. Yeah,
I mean, what are the chances? What the timing? Impeccable.
absolutely, absolutely. A smart choice, as I said before. A smart choice.
All right, so we have a lot
Good.
to dig in. We have 17
Yeah.
albums. We have three singers. We have changes in the drummer, like one. Want to start with the number 17. I always like my guests to start first. So the the beginning is yours. Let's say that my personal criteria, I want to hear also yours,
Yeah.
is there are basically three. Which singer is the best? Because I pay attention a lot on the vocals of the
Yeah.
albums. The second one is composition of rhythms and stuff. And the third one is actually how many songs I like in each album. For example, if an album has 8 songs and I like 5 of them, it's a good album, but it's not an ideal, close to perfect album. So there are going to be many, many surprises in today's ranking list. And for those who are watching, let us know which ranking list is the best, mine or Rainer's in the end. And feel free to comment your ranking list in the comments so we can open a discussion. What are your criteria, Rainer? Tell me. I want to know.
Well, basically, my criteria also the singer and in all honesty, the drummers. I'm a big drummers fan, so therefore, for me, it's always important how the rhythm is within the album. But the most important thing to me is when I walk through all those albums of a discography, where are the albums that have the highest amount of or the highest level of consistency. So, is there an album where I can listen to the whole album in one go from the very first song to the final end? Is there some kind of frame of the concept? This is something that I really love, especially when it's about complete albums. And here Iron Maiden has some really great ones. And I'm quite sure when people watch this, they will recognize I'm not that typical Iron Maiden fan. We will get back to that later. So I have some certain preferences, but as said, consistency is very important to me, especially in Iron Maiden case. The storytelling, is it a strong storytelling? Is it a more weak storytelling? These are the criteria that I have on the top of my list when it's especially about Iron Maiden.
All right, I see. Do you like the background, by the way?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I don't know where you have it from, but it's really, really, really a superb background for such an Iron Maiden session. So thanks for that, Michael. Very great.
Spoiler alert, my favorite artwork from from the whole catalog is Power Slave. And this
Yeah,
is like a, let's say, an alternative to the Power Slave. But yeah, Egypt, and yeah, I like the whole thing. You can see also
yeah,
the Somewhere in Time there on the left side.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
it's great.
The fun thing is, before we start, I am not at all an Eddie fan. I know Eddie is very important for the most of the Iron Maiden fans. I sometimes think, well, does Iron Maiden really need that kind of Eddie thing? I'm still not sure whether it really fits to the band as such, but anyway, I think most of the people love it and like it, and it belongs to Iron Maiden, so therefore it's there and it's okay for me.
Smart idea from the band's production. Smart idea.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's for marketing. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 17. The stage is yours, my friend.
Well, number 17, and here it goes already with the vocalists because it's one of the two albums with Blaze Bailey. So it's Virtual 11. And for me, the name Virtual 11 has already a double sense of the meaning because for me, I mean, it's the 11th album of Iron Maiden. For me, it's almost the virtual 11th one because it's not really that typical Iron Maiden album that I would vote for, especially due to the voice of Blaze Bailey. I love the song "The Klansman." It's a fantastic song. In all honesty, I prefer the version from Rock in Rio 2000 when they had their tour of the reunification with Bruce Dickinson. But "The Klansman" is really a killer song. All the other songs, I think the album is not very much consistent. I think the album shows that Blaze Bailey is a good singer, but not an Iron Maiden singer. This album shows that Blaze Bailey, especially, is not a storytelling type of a singer. And this is one of the reasons why I think he absolutely doesn't fit to Iron Maiden. He made a great job, and I even read that in that period, one of the rock papers said, well, there is only one mistake that Blaze Bailey made, being not Bruce Dickinson. So I think that says it all. And so, therefore, unfortunately, Virtual 11 is on number 17 for me.
Fun fact, a few years ago, like 5 years ago, I would say also Virtual 11 would be the last one. But it's not last one, and it's actually go a little bit higher on my list.
Okay.
This album grew with me, but I'm going to analyze whenever it comes to it. So, my number 17 is The X Factor. So, I'm very close to you. This is a very, very, very weird and very dark album. And one of the reasons is that Steve Harris, who is the bassist, obviously, and the leader of Maiden, he was in some period of time with divorce and breakup with his family and stuff. So it's a very dark album, very long intros, and of course, one of the reasons is that Blaze. I mean, as you perfectly said it. I haven't listened to his solo work, even though I've heard that he's actually good in his solo work, but it's actually a downgrade, a huge downgrade from Bruce. I would say even from Paul. I would say
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think his flat is very very flat. His voice is very very flat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is one of the reasons I don't like it. There are two great tunes actually here, and the one is the Sign of the Cross, and the other one is the Man on the Edge. Both of them with Bruce Dickinson, I freaking love them. But in generally, there is a reason that this album has the shortest chart position among the whole discography.
Yeah.
So number 17, X Factor, Steve Harris. I'm glad you went past the divorce and you continue with the Maiden, but this album, just not my thing.
Okay. Understood. So then, number 16. Well, and here we go. Number 16 for me is the X Factor.
Yeah.
I like it a bit more than Virtual 11. Um, Basically because I think Sign of the Cross is a great song. Also here, I prefer the version on the live versions with Bruce Dickinson, of course, because there the voice of Bruce Dickinson can make out of this song really a great song. However, it's very good. There is another song where I thought when I went through the discography again, where I thought immediately I would love to hear this also from sung by Bruce Dickinson. That's Fortunes of War, because Fortunes of War in principle has that kind of melody of a storytelling type, like typical for Iron Maiden. And I'm quite sure when Bruce Dickinson would sing it, it would be really a great and fantastic song. And then what I also see is Blood on the World's Hands, that fantastic intro of Steve Harris. I mean, then later on, it's like in most of the cases of the Blaze Bailey albums, once the voice kicks in, then I lose my interest in the song. But here, especially Blood on the World's Hands, the intro of Steve Harris, fantastic. I like it.
Mm. before we start the whole discussion, I was pretty sure you're gonna rate. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure many Maiden fans are ranking generally the Blaze albums like very very low.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 16 is actually No Prayer for the Dying. So this is the album when there are no guitar synthesizers, there are no keyboards, and we have actually a new member on the guitars who replaced Adrian Smith. So
Yeah.
the first album with the Gers with Janik. Some people love Janik because of his theatricals and stage presence. Some other people hate him, but I think that generally he has some tracks that they are very very on spot. My favorite guitar player from the Iron Maiden is by far Adrian Smith, and the albums where he has contributed are like top of the top. But anyways, this one is like it has very very mixed reviews as an album. There are not many songs that I like here. I would say that Holy Smoke is a great tune.
Okay.
Uh Worst song I would say that is by far The Assassin. Like I insta skip this song. I don't like it. But you know, it's not what I'm saying. It's like Bruce said it himself in an interview that it's um, like a shit sounding record. They were not satisfied, even the members. So that's why it goes into number 16. It was very close to be the last, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's
Great.
continue.
Okay, 15. The Final Frontier, the album from 2010. When we talk about consistency, this is far away from being consistent. It's a totally unstructured album. It's not a bad album, but it's unstructured. I that there are only a minimum of highlights. I love when the wild winds blow, of course. Also here, especially the live versions, it's absolutely fantastic. It creates a great atmosphere. The only song where I think this is very close to the classic Iron Maiden and the Iron Maiden signature sound is Coming Home. It's a nice song. It's not fantastic. It's a nice song, but there it ends already because all the other songs not too bad, but not really what I expect normally from Iron Maiden, especially in that later phase of their discography. I mean, 2010 they were already far in the more progressive area, and I think Final Frontier is there a little bit a step back. And I was glad that with the Book of Souls they made then a much better album. But let's get back to that later.
Number 15, Final Frontier from me as well. A very, very weak album,
Yeah.
disorganized. But what I just said for the last album, Janik Gers, he he participated in the songwriting of the Talisman, and Talisman is one of the songs that I freaking love, and I give credit to Gers into this. It's one of my favorite songs from this album, together with the Starblind, and of course when the Wild Wind blows. But if I take these three songs that I can really really put them to my Iron Maiden playlist, everything else is like uh, mm, like
Oh,
so. Yeah, yeah. You covered me pretty much in everything, so we can continue to number 14.
number 14, Dance of Death,
Ooh,
the album,
that's an interesting.
the album from 2003. I guess why I put this album so low has a lot to do that the predecessor of that album was Brave New World, and Brave New World was really one of those masterpieces I love to hear always. So fantastic thing. And I think when you look at the development of Brave New World, then Dance of Death, then A Matter of Life and Death, Dance of Death is also a step backwards. I don't think that they really were able to maintain the melodic way and the composition way of A Brave New World with that album. The song Dance of Death is absolutely awesome. I love to hear it. It's the absolute highlight of this album. And a little bit also The Age of Innocence, also a nice song. But I don't know. The other songs. I cannot even tell you exactly why, but they don't trigger me. And I do believe it has a lot to do that I compare them too much with Brave New World and A Matter of Life and Death.
I mean, it's true. I'm surprised actually a little bit that you're putting it so low because there are. I can listen to the album without anything bothering me.
Hmm.
Like the No More Lies, for example, or the Rainmaker. They are like maybe the only song that I don't like is Passchendaele
Yeah.
in this album, but the Journeyman, come on, damn.
It's not a bad song, but eh.
I will get into it. I will get into it.
Yeah.
It's I have it way higher, to be honest, way higher. But
Okay.
so Dance of Death.
Hmm.
All right.
It won't be the last surprise. I I promise to
Okay.
you.
Look, this album usually goes around 10th spot or from 10th to 13th for many lists.
Yeah.
Like there are so much better albums, but okay. So I go with Fear of the Dark album. It's not a surprise. Okay, we all love the actual song Fear of the Dark. They're playing non-stop. It's a great vibe. We see the live in Rio. The participation of the crowd is great. But as a song, as an album, which is by the way the last with Bruce, uh, and it was actually produced by Steve Harris as well, if I'm not mistaken. If you compare it with No Prayer for the Dying, it's better. It's better. So unfortunately, it's also the period of time that the album is coming out. If you have a shitty album and all of a sudden something better comes, you're like, so it's not that bad. It's better than the previous one. But if I compare it to other albums, it's definitely weaker. Like extremely weaker. Okay. Uh, let's say that among the songs, okay, favorite song, Fear of the Dark, obviously. I like half of the songs of the album, but not in the style that I'm getting crazy. If I would put an Iron Maiden playlist from this album, I would put Fear of the Dark, and that's it. Like I don't, I it doesn't attract me, so I I I find it weak compared to others. I enjoy other albums much more, and that's why it's in that low position.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. I mean, in my case, it's anyway special because Fear of the Dark was that door opener album for me to enter the door into the universe of Iron Maiden. Before that, I was not that deep Iron Maiden fan, but Fear of the Dark was the first trigger where I said, well, that's a fantastic band.
I mean, okay, so you have it way higher, eh?
A bit higher, yes.
A bit higher. All right,
Let's wait and see. Okay.
all right.
So now most likely the second surprise because where are we on 13 or 12? I
We are in number 13.
13, yes. And 13 is the birthday child of today. So it's the album Iron Maiden.
Wow. This is a surprise for me.
I can imagine. That's why I told you I'm actually not that typical Iron Maiden fan. I at least suppose not to be that one. Um, I mean, we are now getting anyway into a ranking where all the other Iron Maiden albums are very good, um, awesome. Some of them really fantastic. The point is, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of Paul Diano. I know he was the first real singer, and his legacy is for sure to be respected. And if I listen to Remember Tomorrow, that's a fantastic slow song with his voice. So I love that song. Um, of course, Iron Maiden, the song is a classic. So no doubt about that. I also like very much the Phantom of the Opera. I think the Phantom of the Opera is the definition of the Iron Maiden signature sound. So whenever I would have, whenever someone would ask me, play a very typical Iron Maiden song. I've never heard Iron Maiden before. Play a very typical one. I would, in the first stage, say, listen to Phantom of the Opera. It tells everything about Iron Maiden.
Funny fact that it's with Stratton on guitars, which is
Yeah,
the only album. It's funny.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And why I rank it quite low can be described when I describe my feelings when I listen to Transylvania, because I always wondered why is Transylvania a song that triggers me so much, and I came finally to the conclusion it is because it's an instrumental. It has not the Paul Diano voice. So nothing against Paul Diano, but I think it's also not the perfect match. He's much better than Bailey, but also quite behind Bruce Dickinson. So that's if you put it into a nutshell, the reason why it's more on that ranking 13.
Now it's gonna be also surprise. My first surprise comes in this spot. We have in my list. I have Killers. So if I compare the two Paul Diano albums, I find the debut album brilliant, and it's the only album that I don't mind that I don't listen Bruce Dickinson. But I will get that whenever I will talk about the actual debut Iron Maiden. So if I compare these two, I find the compositions on Killers way more, pardon my language, boring than
Oh,
the first one. And I like the drums. Cleve is on fire. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel that there are not really great compositions here. There is no Phantom of the Opera in this album. I cannot compare the instrumental with Transylvania. There's no Prowler here. I I don't know. It's just there are people who are putting Killers in top 3, and I'm like, how?
yeah.
No, I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. So for these reasons, basically, I put it in very, very low spot. This is gonna surprise many people, but I think it's miles away inferior than the debut. So yep, Killers then. And we go to number 12.
Okay, number 12 now on my list is Killers.
Okay.
And I think the debut album and Killers, they are very close. Um, I must say I love the song Rothschild. It's a beast of a song. I really love to hear it again, especially when Bruce Dickinson sings it live. But anyway, no, it's a fantastic song. And for me also here, the funny thing is that the prodigal son is a very nice song
Mm-hmm.
until the moment when Paul Diano's voice kicks in. It's because it has that melody thing that makes Iron Maiden Iron Maiden. And normally, when you have Bruce Dickinson there, then he picks it up and he makes a great storytelling out of that. And in this case, it falls a little bit onto the other side. But in all honesty, when I listen to the whole album of Killers, yes, maybe not so many highlights, but I find it very consistent. In Iron Maiden, in the debut album, I see more ups and downs, and I would more press the skip button on the debut album. Killers, it's not the best album that they've made, but I can listen to it almost in one go.
Oh, all right. That's interesting. Okay. I We go number 12, right?
Yeah.
So I have Virtual 11 here. And I was never expecting to put this album above Fear of the Dark or above, I don't know, like Killers, but when I first listened to this album, I was like, uh, yikes. But it grew with me,
Mhm.
and I realized that the compositions are great, but it's just the vocals that ruin it. If I would replace and I would put Bruce on this album, it would be a phenomenal album. And Future Real is one of the earliest songs that I heard from Iron Maiden. And of course, with the Clansman, I think they are the two highlights on the album. The only song that I don't like at all in this album is the last one, Comes Estes Amigos. I don't know. I just don't like the song at all. All the rest, I can listen to them without a problem, without skipping them, but I would prefer overall if Bruce would sing the whole album. So for this reason, it goes higher of the albums that I mentioned before because I think the compositions are nice, they're catchy, and just Lazy is ruin somehow ruining the thing. So for this reason, it cannot just go higher. And we go to number 11, eh?
Yeah, number 11 now. Very close to the top 10. Number 11 on my list, Peace of Mind, the album from 1983.
Holy guacamole.
It's it's one of those songs. I mean, anyway, um, what fairly can be said, Iron Maiden is one of those bands who are very, very much talented in creating a fantastic opening song. So I know only a few albums from Iron Maiden where the opening song is not wonderful. So they have that talent to put this on the number one of the list of each album. So where Eagles there, it's one of my favorites, especially when it comes to the drum opening from Nico McBrain. It's an awesome first track and it's a fantastic opener. My favorite song on this album is The Trooper. The Trooper, also one
Yeah,
of my all-time favorites of Iron Maiden. I was very sad when I heard first that Nico McBrain cannot play it anymore because the Trooper is Nico McBrain and Nico McBrain is the Trooper. So therefore, absolutely great. And also Revelations, by the way, it's an awesome ballad. I mean, it's very difficult to say in Iron Maiden songs that they have ballads. It's not that classic ballad, but of the more slowly songs with that storytelling character, Revelations is one of their best, to be honest. I like it very much. But these three highlights, yes, that's great. All the other thoughts, all the other songs, they don't trigger me that much, and so therefore it's just on number 12.
this is a
No,
huge,
sorry,
huge,
seven.
huge bomb what you dropped there.
Yeah.
But I'm also very close to this bomb. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, my next one, I am sad that it's actually it's in this position number 11. Yeah, it's a very solid album. I'm talking about Book of Souls.
Ooh.
It's a very solid album with disc one, disc two, okay, 11 songs, whatever. Uh, I love the red and the black, great long, typical Iron Maiden sound. And of course, Janik Gers did it again with the Book of Souls, the actual song of the album. Great. Uh, Look, the only reason that this album is going in this position is because there are like three songs that maybe four that they don't touch me at all. So basically, let's say that I like 7 out of 11. I like the production of the album and the mixing, but the songs don't fulfill me. So the Speed of Light, for example, the Death or Glory, and which one was the Man of Sorrows, for example.
Yeah.
Mm. And the Great Unknown. I mean, I'm not dying with these four songs. They don't touch me like other songs do. So there are albums that they are equally solid, but I like more songs on them. So that's why it goes in this position. Just because I enjoy more albums, different albums more. So Book of Souls, number 11 for me. And we're going to top 10 now.
Okay. Yeah, and from now on, it's getting more and more difficult, for sure. And with the next one, I was fighting a bit with myself, um, because it's Senjutsu. When it
Wow.
when it came out, I thought, what a fantastic album. But it took not very much long that I was not that much convinced anymore. And I think when I compare it to other albums from Iron Maiden, it dropped over the months and years down a bit. Um, my gut feeling is, And I had the first time I had that gut feeling with Book of Souls, like you described. The Book of Souls and Senjutsu, I had that feeling that they wanted too much. So, Book of Souls, especially the voice of Bruce Dickinson, sometimes you think, well, now he really wants to stress his voice to the final limits. But with Senjutsu, is what it was even a little bit top. So I don't think that it's that great storytelling album. It has very, very, very excellent songs. I mean, the writing on the walls. I mean that was the first single. That was really good. I like it. Nothing to say against it. But what triggers me more are the songs from the second CD. In my case, especially the Death of the Kells. I
Okay.
love that way how the harmonies between Steve Harris and the guitars works. So this in the Death of Kells, especially with the intro, triggers me very much. And the second thing is really the Parchment. The Parchment is really
Very
my
unique.
favorite song of this album.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say Hell on Earth. The whole planet loves Hell on Earth.
Well, hello, yeah. No, in my case, it's really the Parchment, because all the other songs, fantastic Maiden songs, um, typical for that more proggy style of Iron Maiden, especially the late Iron Maiden. But it doesn't touch me like so many other albums, and therefore, unfortunately, it's not higher than 10.
Wow, you break my heart. I love Senjutsu. I love
Yeah,
samurais.
yeah, I love
Uh,
Samurais as well. That maybe that's one of the reasons why I was in the end a bit disappointed. No, anyway, your turn.
okay, I'm gonna go with Peace of Mind. This is my second surprise of the day today because there are so many people who are saying Peace of Mind top three. It was even a more successful album than the Number of the Beast. I cannot understand why, but okay, it's a very very solid album. But there is only one reason why this album goes in this place for me. It has these two songs. The let me find them. It was the Quest for Fire and Sun and Steel. I mean, these two songs ruined the whole album.
Oh,
Like Dickinson, it starts singing like when dinosaurs were on Earth and stuff like that. Like I want to laugh my shit out, laugh my ass out.
yeah.
If these two songs were not in this album, I think it would be a great album. You have Nico McBrain in this album. This is like, I mean, To Tame a Land, great song as an ending. I don't know what to tell you. Well, the only thing I can say is that the drumming sound is very noticeable. It's not Nico's finest work because it's his first album, but I have to say that Nico McBrain is my favorite Iron Maiden member because he's kind, he's funny, and he's a master in the kit. He's like an octopus playing a million of things. So yeah, there are better works with McBrain on the drums, better albums. We're gonna get into them. So Peace of Mind, just because I like everything except two songs. So it's not a perfect album, and there are albums that I enjoy more, unfortunately. So yeah, we go to top nine now.
Yeah, now we go more to the classic Iron Maiden albums. On 9 on my list is The Number of the Beast. Um,
Oh,
one of the classics.
wow.
I can't put it higher, unfortunately. Um, I mean, I also yeah, it has it its ups and downs. At least if you ask me, the best song is not The Number of the Beast, is not Run to the Hills, but my favorite song is Hallowed Be Thy Name.
But this is without debate. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's obvious. I think.
Yeah, Hallowed Be Thy Name is one of the most fantastic Iron Maiden songs, especially when they play it live. It's awesome, really really awesome. But also Children of the Damned.
Yes.
Also, one of their really best almost ballads. Iron Maiden has no real ballads, but it's an almost ballad, and it's really one of their best ones. I like it very much. It's very consistent as a song, but the album is not that consistent. And although everybody loves it, I mean, the Number of the Beast, the intro is awesome. The whole song is, of course, a classic Iron Maiden song. It also defines the Iron Maiden signature sound. But I think they have made lots of better songs. And Run to the Hills, I think, if you ask me, it's one of the most overrated songs of Iron Maiden. It's not because it's a great song. It's a very good composition, but it's not really that storytelling type of Maiden. And this is what I miss in that kind of songs. And therefore, that kind of songs, they don't trigger me that much. And I then prefer more Hallowed Be Thy Name and other songs like that. And that's why it's just on 9.
So this basically means that Fear of the Dark is above and Book of Souls is above.
Absolutely. 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 I told you this will be a lot of surprises for you. So therefore,
Look,
no, that
I
they're both higher, yes.
all right. I'm shocked. I'm shocked with the number of the beast. I am shocked. Uh, damn. Okay, I go next. Dance of Death. Uh, Catastrophic artwork. Jesus Christ. I mean, how could they do that?
Yeah.
I think it's one of the most underrated albums. I think it has very interesting vocals, great tunes in general, and it doesn't get the love that it deserves. This album, and of course, the Journeyman is the only acoustic song that they recorded. I don't know if you knew that. And
No,
yeah,
no, I haven't known that.
and personally, I actually love it. And as I told you before, the only song that I really don't like here is the Passchendaele. So I can listen to the whole Dance of Death as an experience, like 11 songs from the beginning and to the top and to the bottom. I'm not gonna get bored. I'm gonna skip Passchendaele and maybe Age of Innocence, maybe, or Gates of Tomorrow, but I don't know. I enjoyed it more than the Peace of Mind, and I don't know how. I mean, the entirety of the album, for me, Peace of Mind has better songs, but as a whole album, I like it more. Which I never thought I would say that. You know, it's funny when we said we were going to do this podcast and we would take all the albums and analyze and stuff. I had certain positions. I had a top three instantly. And actually, I thought that Peace of Mind would go very, very higher, but actually it didn't make it, and I'm surprised by myself. So, yeah, this is not a surprise. Like, it's number 9, Dance of Death. I mean, it's normal position. And, yeah, waiting for you, and then I'm going to get to my number 8.
Okay, number 8, a seventh son of a seventh son.
Holy shit.
I
What?
I I see this in the sequence. I mean, it's some kind of further development of the more proggy style that they started with somewhere in time with Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. They went even much deeper into it. I mean, what I love when I listen to that album is, of course, the framing that is created by having Moonchild as the intro and then Only the Good Die Young as the outro. And then you have really the perfect frame for this album, which makes it really a conceptual album. It's not a concept album, but I think a conceptual album when you look at it from a composition wise perspective.
It's based on the book Seventh Son
Yeah,
with the paranormal abilities.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I like when I listen to that album. I mean, it's anyway a great album. Otherwise, it would not be on number 8. Um, I think the best song of the album is The Clairvoyant. I am absolutely I love that song. I admire that. It's really really one of my favorites of Maiden. Infinite Dreams is a great song. Where I'm a little bit split is already The Evil That Men Do. I know that many Iron Maiden fans love that song. I think also here I miss the typical structure of a Maiden sound. It has nice speed, and I think it's an awesome song for live concerts. But I think they have done much better songs. And what song I think, in all honesty, and I know many people that would watch that video now will think what, because one of the most overrated songs of Iron Maiden, if you ask me, is "Can I Play with Madness." I don't understand where the hype comes from. I think it's a very average song. None of my favorites. And since there are so many ups and downs when I listen to that album, it's not higher than 8. And but it's a great album, especially due to the Clairvoyant.
You're throwing bombs here. I had to drink my rum. Just a second. I mean, it's not that you're putting it into this position. It's that you have Fear of the Dark and Book of Souls above it. This is what's killing me, you understand? This is what's driving me crazy. Uh, okay, I will get into that. Uh, that's the fun part about music. Everybody likes something different. There is no wrong or right. It's just about opinions and taste. But you're wrong.
Michael, I have to say, prepare yourself. It will get even worse, but just a spoiler. So please go ahead. Sorry.
The only way it can get worse is if you're gonna tell me that number 7 is somewhere in time. If you're gonna tell me that, then we can cancel the podcast.
Okay, see you next time. Okay,
Oh.
let's go for it, Michael. I
Okay.
told you, I told you it will be a tough evening for you. So therefore,
Damn. All right, my number 8 is the debut album. It's a very solid position to put it because I'm obviously huge Bruce Dickinson fan. The Iron Maiden that I love is with Bruce Dickinson. So number 8 for the debut with Paul is a very solid and honorable position. Phantom of the Opera, fuck yeah, maybe the second or third song that I heard from the band, that it pulled me to the band. Cleve on drums, killing it. Stratton on guitars, okay, I cannot judge, it's just in one album, but the album, I feel it's very, very solid, very, very balanced, completely different from what we're used to. You have Paul Diano on vocals. It's a very raw album, punk element, like a badass album, like a punch in the face. New wave British heavy metal. Hello, Iron Maiden's here. Okay. Uh, as I said, the only album that I don't miss Bruce Dickinson. I was like, Paul, just do it, dude. You got it. Great. And then comes Killers and I'm like, damn, you lost it. But okay, it's my thing, that's my taste for this. So number 8, Iron Maiden, it's great. Like Phantom of the Opera, like best song, and Prowler as well. Like wow, damn, I love this, love this. Yeah, okay, go for it. I know, go for it. Say
yeah,
it. My
take,
T-shirt is your number
take,
7. Jesus
take,
Christ.
take, take another drink. It's really somewhere in time.
Wow, man.
Um,
Wow, you like I cannot now. I cannot. Now I cannot say what is your. There is no person who ever talked about Iron Maiden who is not gonna have in his top 3 Somewhere in Time and Seventh Son.
I would expect the same. Yes, that's why I said already in the intro. I fairly do believe that I'm not a typical Iron Maiden fan, not at all.
All right, explain yourself, Rainer.
Yes, I explain myself and I justify myself. No, just kidding. No, the point is, it's the predecessor of Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. It's a more proggy style album. It's composition wise a great album. I like it. Um, but I think I miss the consistency in the album as well in comparison, especially to the ones that come then later for me. Um, my favorite song is "Stranger in a Strange Land." It's one of the favorites of Iron Maiden, and Caught Somewhere in Time is again a great intro. And as I said before, Iron Maiden, I mean, they have that talent to have that great intros of their albums. There's no doubt about that. Wasted Years is a nice song, but not one of my favorites. So here I have already the point where it doesn't trigger me very much.
Wow.
But where I see really the typical element, at least to me, when it's about Maiden as that band that always takes you with them through some kind of history, so through some kind of stories, through some kind of um, um, text ballad or something like that. And here, the loneliness of the long distance runner is one of those typical Maiden songs to me. I love that song. Uh, Great, fantastic. The other songs, of course, not bad, but I think it's not that consistency that I would say I can listen to that album from the very first song to the final end. There are always some kind of small interrupts, and so therefore, yeah, it is as it is.
What about Alexander the Great?
Alexander the Great is a good song, but when it's about that storytelling, it's for me, and you must be very powerful now, because for me it's even a little bit flat from the melody and from the storytelling kind. So therefore, I always think by myself, let's give this song another trial, because in principle it's a great song. And then I listen to it and I listen to it deeper and I listen to it again, and I think no, it's not one of their best songs. Sorry.
Wow. I was actually over sad that it was one of the songs that they never played live, and then in the last tour now they actually played it,
Oh,
and I was actually planning to go see them
wow.
in Slovakia now, but after I saw them 2 years ago in Vienna, I was like, they are too old. I mean, they don't move. I don't enjoy the show so much. They're legends, but if I compare them, it's one of my Iron Maiden is like one of my top five bands.
Mhm.
But if I compare the Iron Maiden that I saw in Vienna and the ACDC that I saw in Slovakia,
Uh,
like it pains me to say, but it was like day and night the shows.
oh,
Like the ACDC knocked it out of the park. Anyways,
wow.
I like the marching on the Alexander the Great in the beginning, the solos. Oh, I love the song. Anyways, so now comes my third and last surprise of the evening. And before everybody hates on me and start blaming me, I am gonna remind you guys and Rainer that one of the reasons I'm ranking some albums low is because there are some songs that they ruin the albums. So number 7 is Power Slave, and it has 4 epic. When I'm saying epic, I means best of the best Iron Maiden songs. 2 Minutes to Midnight, Aces High, Power Slave and Raymond of Ancient Mariner. So this is half of the album. Great so far, perfect, 10 out of 10. And then you have Lost for Words, Duelists, Flash of the Blade, and Back in the Village, which are very, very similar between each other. Back in the Village, I find it horrendous, disgusting song. So, Power Slave as an album, it has also my favorite artwork. It goes back. It goes to 7th position because it has 4 epic fucking masterpieces, but the other 4 are totally random and still the glory. Like they take the glory away from the album, unfortunately. But I can listen to it from the top to bottom, obviously, because the first 2 songs and the last 2 are the best. But Back in the Village, I insta skip. I just cannot stand this song. So, for these reasons. By the way, it's one of the albums that Dave Murray, has 0 songwriting participation, 0 credits. I guess he was in the pub drinking Scots. Who knows? By the way, I have to say that this Power Slave tour live, the stage was insane.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was not born when this happened, but they overkilled it with this tour. Iron Maiden do the classic thing. They are doing a tour, they are going to the studio, they are recording an album, and then they are going to tour the album. Very, very typical all these years. So the Power Slave tour had 187 fucking live shows around the world. Can you imagine that? They were like, Jesus.
Incredible.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible.
Sorry, Power Slave people, I know you have it in top 5. Everybody would. Back in the Village, Duelists, man, come on. Damn. Yep. Let's go to number 6. If you don't put Book of Souls here, I'm gonna come in Germany and rip your heart.
Are we really at 6? I think we are already at 5, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, we're in. You're going to 6.
Okay. At least in my case, it's Power Slave.
Oh, wow. Big minds connect, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then I don't have to repeat what you said. The only thing is where I slightly disagree with you is when I walk through the discography of Iron Maiden albums, then Power Slave is the first really consistent album with the concept of sound and composition. I don't think that the variation between the ups and downs is that huge, and so therefore, yeah, as said, I like that album very much. I like the opening of Aces High, 2 Minutes to Midnight, great song. I was a bit surprised when you said that Lost for Words is not a good song in your opinion, because I like that song. I think it's kind of a typical song of that Iron Maiden signature sound. So therefore, I
It
think
is. It
it is
is.
very well.
But I will say, you take the 2 first, you take the 2 last. They are obviously the best songs. As a 5th, I would put Lost for Words, and then probably the Flash of the Blade, then the Duelist, and the last Back in the Village. Yeah, it's not definitely not a bad instrumental. It's great, but I find these 4 songs so similar between them. So, yeah, okay, we agree to disagree. I mean, come on.
Yep, that's it.
So my number 6, huh? So my number 6 is Senjutsu. God bless the samurais. What is unbelievable, Rainer, about this album is that you have the band who is together 40 years, and all of a sudden I'm sitting in the hospital working, and I'm getting notification, or I was scrolling and I see that Iron Maiden has announced new album in September, and I'm like, what? It's unbelievable that a band that is 40 years together comes out with something like this. I think it's the most unique album when it comes to the sound. It has everything. You want galloping on bass, you have Stratego. You want war and drums, you have the
Mhm.
Senjutsu track. You want southern riff, you have Writing on the Wall. You have an epic long song, you have Hell on Earth. The Darkest Hour, for example, it has some the for me personally, The Darkest Hour is the best solo of Iron Maiden discography. It reminds me Pink Floyd Maroon. It reminds me Marillion.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
yeah. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like out of this world. And of course, I'm gonna thank again Janik Gers for writing this phenomenal song that it's called Time Machine, which reminds me of Talisman, which is the typical composition of Janik, like the Book of Souls as well. I love it. So it's a very, very unique album, and the more I listen to it, the more I love it. So yeah, I never believed that this album is gonna go actually above Power Slave. You say,
Mhm.
but it actually managed to because Power Slave has these three songs that they're like, eh. And here I can listen to everything from top to bottom as a musical experience without being disturbed, without nothing really bothering me. So yeah,
Mhm. Great.
Senjutsu and up the irons, baby. And
Great.
we are going to top five. Man, you are killing me.
Yeah.
You have Book of Souls in your top five. Jesus,
Yes, I
bro.
have. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And almost for the same reasons why you have Senjutsu in the top six.
All right.
We get back to that later. It's but the story behind is very similar. Just turned around.
Okay.
Anyway, so we are now in the top five,
Yes.
and here is my personal first surprise because when I started to re-listen to Iron Maiden albums again, that was quite in the lower area. But the more and more I was digging deeper into it, I was especially surprised about its positioning within the discography. So I'm talking about No Prayer for the Dying.
Holy shit, I forgot this one. Oh my god. What? Oh my goodness, man.
Because and I mean it's most likely you forgot it because it's some kind of a niche album. Because it's really for me it's that kind of bridging album from the more proggy albums like Somewhere in Time, Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, and then back a little bit to the roots of Iron Maiden with a more rough sound, with a more hard rock style sound, which then later also led to Fear of the Dark. And this is exactly what fascinates me on that album. Is it's really that bridging kind where you even find elements of Fear of the Dark, and you know already that Fear of the Dark is within my top five. I love that album in all honesty because, as I said, it was my door opener into the Iron Maiden universe. And when I listen, especially to titles like Holy Smoke, Prayer for the Dying, especially Tail Gunner as a door opener, as a opener of the whole album. I think that's exactly that bridging element from the proggy albums as I mentioned to the Fear of the Dark, which is more a hard rock album and with more that back to the hard and heavy sound of the early years. And this is why I think position wise, it's a very interesting album for me. It has not those absolute highs or lows, but I can listen through it in one go. And therefore, surprisingly, in the end, it landed on number five.
Damn. I'm speechless. I like from everything you said, No Prayer for the Dying in this spot is like huge surprise for me. We are entering my top five, and I'm going with Amolad. I'm going with A Matter of Life and Death. I love the artwork and the tanks and the war. This is the heaviest Iron Maiden album, This is the best drumming work from Nico McBrain. He agrees with me because he said it himself. This is my finest work in Iron Maiden in the rhythm parts. One of my favorite songs. Two in my top 10 Iron Maiden songs. I think there are two songs from this album. These colors don't run, and for the greater good of God. Phenomenal. I love everything about this album. I can listen from the top to the bottom non-stop. Maybe the last two songs I'm not the biggest fan, but they don't bother me at all. Great tunes. Uh, War, heaviness. Like there is nothing not to like. Like absolutely love it.
Wow.
Yep.
What shall I say? I think we come now to my number four, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a matter of life and death. So here we are already fully aligned again. Now, a matter of life and death for me, and I mean, you said it already. For me, the most consistent Maiden album. One song on the same level as the other, and on a high level. So therefore, I was really surprised when I re-explored the discography of Iron Maiden, how much I love that album. It was almost forgotten on my side, and then I re-explored it, and I found out these are really the one hell of a song after the other. I must say my favorite is, and that might be a surprise to you, but it's definitely The Legacy.
Oh,
It's an
really?
it's an awesome song. The last song, I love the intro of that song. I love the whole composition. Um, Singing wise, it even reminds me here. It reminds me a little bit of the early Marillions when Fish was still there. It really has that kind of. I mean, when Fish made his later solo albums, he made similar things like in the first 2 to 3 minutes of the legacy of this album, A Matter of Life and Death. I really admire that song. It's one of the hidden champions of Iron Maiden, if you ask me. Totally underrated, and I love it. Different world, of course, fantastic. These colors don't run, as you said, no doubt about that.
I love the Pilgrim. I love Out of the Shadows.
Yeah,
Like they're great, great,
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. My second hidden champion on that album, by the way, is Brighter Than a Thousand Suns,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because it's a little bit more back into that area where they had a more rough sound. It has more rock elements. It's not that proggy. It's quite straightforward. And so therefore, really, it's one of those albums, as you also said, you can listen to it from the very first song to the end of the album, and it's never boring, and it's always on a very high level. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very distinctive
Yeah,
and consistent. I love
yeah,
this about this.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
All right. My number four is Number of the Beast. There is no introduction here. One of the best heavy metals album for me of all time. You have Hallowed Be Thy Name, which is the, when somebody tells me I want to listen to some Iron Maiden, what should I listen? My answer is Hallowed Be Thy Name. It's the, it's it's their legacy. This song is their legacy. Obviously, is the introduction of the new singer Bruce Dickinson, and here we see why the Iron Maiden became what they became, because Bruce brought them to a completely different level. It was unexpectedly powerful and shocking, the difference in the vocals. Phenomenal. Uh, if I may, I can say
Uh,
that the only song I don't like in this album, that I would maybe I would even skip it, is the fucking intro. Not the gangland. Not the gangland that people hate. The invaders. I don't know. The way he screams, it reminds me of a police siren. I don't know. It's just, so whole album, 8 songs. I like seven. Success, number four, Number of the Beast. Brilliant, brilliant, like brilliant.
Great.
So you have Fear of the Dark in top three, my friend. Jesus. And you have Book of Souls in your top three.
Yeah,
And Brave New World, eh? Hmm.
yeah, Brave New World.
As you can see, I have also Brave New World in my top three.
I was already quite sure that here we don't have to debate very long and very much. But anyway,
Yep.
my number three, it's the Book of Souls, and as I said before, it reminds me a little bit like you explained why you love Senjutsu. I mean, as I said at the beginning, both albums, The Book of Souls and Senjutsu, I had the slight feeling, and I do fairly believe that they wanted very much. And in some areas, I think it slipped away a little bit in wanting too much. Um, and especially in the case of Senjutsu, that's the reason why it went down a little bit on my list. In the Book of Souls, I think it remains stable on number three because it's a fantastic concept of an album. It has all the elements of typical Iron Maiden. I mean, Speed of Light is really a bit of a classic Iron Maiden song. Speedy, very intense, very nice rock and roll driven song. My favorite, by the way, is The Great Unknown. That might be surprising, but The Great Unknown
Wow.
is composition-wise one of the songs that touch me even more than the big epic songs on this album. But however, also the epic songs, like especially the Book of Souls, very nice composition. And maybe 60 seconds too long. That's the only thing where I sometimes think that they haven't found the element where they said, well, now it's time to let it fade out. However, a Book of Souls, a fantastic, great epic song. And the Man of Sorrows and Empire of the Clouds, that's a finishing where you always can listen to it in one go. And of course also the opener, If Eternity Should Fail,
Great opener.
also during their tour, the Book of Souls tour. When you watch it on the Blu-ray or the DVD, it's very well done. It's a fantastic opener. It's everything that you expect from a highlight Iron Maiden album, and not too much a keyboard like sound in the background, so it's still very much driven by the guitars and especially by the absolute fantastic bass of Steve Harris. So that's the reason why it's on number three on my side.
What about the? You know that Tears of the Clown was about the Robbie Williams, the actor who died. The It was written for him. You didn't know that? Oh, I lost your sound. I cannot hear you. Yeah, I lost your microphone completely. Talk to me. No, I cannot hear you. Maybe some cable issue because everything was working.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. So
Yeah, now it's
the Tears of the Clown is about the Robbie Williams, the actor. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I knew that, and I love the story behind.
I wanted
Um,
to ask you, what do you think
I
about
also,
the Empire of the Clouds?
the Empire of the Clouds is a great song. Not one of my favorites of this album, but it's a great song. Yes, of course.
All right, we're going to top three. Me.
Yep.
So my top three is Somewhere in Time by T-shirt. Futuristic environment with Eddie with a pistol. And fun fact, the actual artwork, it hides 42 Easter eggs, we call them. 42 little things about the band. 42. Anyways, one of the, I think it's actually the most expensive album produced by the band, and they were actually burned out. The whole band was actually burned out after the Power Slave tour. I don't know with what words should I describe this album. Stranger in a Strange Land and Wasted Years are my two favorite songs. The Wasted Years actually is based on the fact that they were away from home because of the Power Slave tour. And The Stranger or The Stranger Land is about a sailor, I think. Real life story. Yeah. Anyways, from top to bottom, there is no song that I'm skipping. I love everything about this album. The Deja Vu is actually a song that I think it's a hidden gem that many people don't pay attention to it. Uh, it's very sad to see that not many songs from this album are on the live set lists. I mean, I don't understand why. Uh, Alexander the Great, they started playing it. Maybe I'm gonna reconsider and actually go see them now in June. We'll see. But like Stranger in a Strange Land is one of the best riffs they ever written for me. It's like I freaking love it. And one of the reasons I wanted to play guitar when I was younger was the Wasted Years, the intro. Tan 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 on the posts of God. um, okay, Wasted Years top 10 Iron Maiden songs. It has to be there. And we're going with your number 2, which means that I'm automatically gonna know number 1.
Exactly. And my number two is Fear of the Dark. Fear of the Dark. When I walk through the discography of Iron Maiden albums, for me it's the second very consistent album in their discography. They went back a little bit back to the roots. Um, it's a quite hard rock driven album. I love the opener, "Be Quick or Be Dead," with the screaming part of Bruce Dickinson. I
Wow.
think that's one of the Dickinson elements that I really admire and love very much. Um, but I love even more the overall consistency of the album, um, especially songs like "Afraid to Shoot Strangers." I think it's a very nice composition. It's a very nice balance between the bass-driven sound of Steve Harris and the guitar sounds of the rest of the band. Fantastic drum sound on that album, if you ask me, because it's very rough and it's very hard rock driven, as said. Um, I like very much Childhood's End because
It's a great song. It's a great song.
it's again that guitar and bass thing where the guitar and guitars and the bass polarize between themselves. That what makes to me the typical and Iron Maiden signature sound. So therefore, and I think that's very 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 well reflected in Childhood's End. Wasting Love is the third of the albums I would mention as one of their best albums. I love it. I know that many people almost hate this, but I really love it. I think it's a very nice composition. The Fugitive is really a more than solid song. I think it fits very well into the whole flow of the album. And then, of course, the absolute highlight, Fear of the Dark. Independent whether I listen to it on the studio album or I look at it on the various DVDs or YouTube channels when it's played live, that's one of their absolute monster songs. And as said at the beginning, this was really the first thing I heard from Iron Maiden really more deeply, and where I said, well, why I haven't listened to that band so often, and therefore this was for me the beginning of my really big love to Iron Maiden in the end. And due to Fear of the Dark and all the other compositions, it's on rank two.
I mean, there is no person who doesn't like Fear of the Dark, but
Yeah.
maybe there are some people who just heard it so many times, like Pull Me Under with Dream Theater, that they're like enough is enough, but you just cannot have enough. Fear of the Dark is such an amazing song.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
My number two is Brave New World, which is your number one. Uh, I I don't understand how people are putting this album outside of their top five. There is nothing not to like in this album, and it's actually one of the albums that Johnny Gershon guitar surprised me. He contributed in like the Ghost of Navigator, which used to be my alarm for many years. Tan 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 tan. Yeah, yeah, okay, brilliant. And then you have also the what's the name? The Dream of Mirrors. The dream is true,
Hmm.
like and the Mercenary and Out of the Silent Planet. Over unique riff and intro, like so. Obviously, you understand that my number one is Seventh Son, but Seventh Son and Brave New World, and maybe somewhere in time I can change them according to the mood of the day. Like they are, I think they are perfections.
Yeah,
Anyways, the reason that this album goes to my number two is because I freaking love The Wicker Man. And I'm probably in the minority here, but I think is one of the best. The Wicker Man, The Ghost of Navigator, one of the best singles that they released. And of course, you have also the Blood Brothers for Harry's father. They're saying it's the best post millennium album because of the reconnection of Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith. I get that. It's definitely the best. But for me, it's going up to second position because even the last song, the thin line between love and hate, like I mean, it's awesome. There's nothing but here. Like there's literally no bad song, and it fulfills you also time wise. It's like 1 hour 60 something minutes. So 10 out of 10 out of 10, literally 10 out of 10. And I know that you love drums, so you need to appreciate in the Dream of Mirrors, Nico McBrain in the end, he's doing exactly the same thing for like how many minutes? It's
yeah,
very, very hard. Great,
yeah,
great, great.
absolutely, absolutely. No, agree, and everything you said is the reason why it's my number one. Brave New World. Um, it's the album when Bruce Dickinson returned back to Iron Maiden. I mean, you can imagine. I found my approach to Iron Maiden with Fear of the Dark, and then Bruce Dickinson walked away, and then they had another singer, and I was so disappointed. So you can imagine how much I was delighted when Bruce Dickinson came back.
Yeah.
And with Brave New World, it was not just a returning; it was really like Phoenix out of the ashes. So it was really fantastic to see and to hear, especially when you see the live DVD Rock in Rio of that tour, how powerful they were at that time on stage, how they were really rocking the whole stadium. So it really fantastic. And what really makes it to me is it's one of those rare albums where I can listen to the first four songs in a row without that it's getting boring. It's really, so it starts with The Wicker Man. It's one of those typical fantastic openers of Maiden. The Ghost of the Navigator, smashing song. Brave New World is to me one of the hymns of Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
but one of the highlight songs for every metal fan, of course, is Blood Brothers, because it's really that hymn of the hard and heavy community, because it really describes everything, what it's about. And it's really something where whenever I listen to that song, independent, the studio version, or especially also the live version, goosebumps everywhere. It's one of my highlight songs of Iron Maiden, and it's never getting boring. Listen to that song, so therefore it's absolutely fantastic. Love it, really love it.
Number one, Brave New World. Yeah. And fun fact, the Blood Brothers is also they dedicated to Ronnie James Dio as
Yeah,
well. What you want to say about Dio? Like top of the cream.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So my number one is Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. I love that is a mysterious, intriguing album. I love generally in many bands keyboards, and it has keyboards. You know, it doesn't have guitar
Mhm,
synthesizers. It has actual keyboards.
mhm.
Simple, but they are there, and it's very atypical for the Iron Maiden sound. And the whole concept with some protagonists from the book Seventh Son and all these paranormal gifts and stuff. Okay, I like mystery. I like supernatural. It's nice.
Mhm.
Uh, it contains, now I have to spoil it. Should I spoil it or should I not spoil it? Because we are gonna make a top 10 Iron Maiden songs. Ah, fuck it, I'm gonna spoil it. It contains my favorite Iron Maiden song, which is Infinite Dreams. I know the lyrics from the top to the bottom of this song, everything. I used to know how to play in bass guitar back in the days. Um, Clairvoyant, oh my god. Uh, I, I I I have no words. I have no words. It's a masterpiece from top to bottom. Like all these three, for me at least. Seventh Son, Brave New World, and Somewhere in Time, they are like top of the top. And there, I would also add the Number of the Beast if it didn't have the fucking invaders that I don't like, the siren of the Bruce.
Yeah,
So we dropped many bombs. We came to the end. We dropped many bombs.
we did.
I would say the most shocking bomb from your side was the that no praying for the dying number five. It has stuck here in my esophagus. I'm trying to. I don't have even water anymore here to put it down. But number seven and number eight, if I'm not mistaken, the Seventh Son and the Somewhere in Time,
Yeah.
so low for me, man. What did surprise you from my list?
In all honesty, the Book of Souls, because I thought that the Book of Souls, since it's a very proggy album, and you love the proggy style of music, um, that would trigger you more. Yeah, that was the biggest surprise to me, to be honest.
And not the Fear of the Dark that it was like 14 or something.
I, I assumed already in your case that this would be not on the top of your list. Um, No, because I think I know many people that love Fear of the Dark. I know many people that almost hate it, despite the song Fear of the Dark. So therefore, I know that it's quite polarizing. So I assumed already that we are not very much close regarding that album. But I was already quite sure that Brave New World we would be very close.
Yeah. Wow, Rainer, I don't know how long we are recording, but it passed just like that, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just like 15 minutes felt. So really, really interesting. And it's exactly like you said. It's what makes talking about music so interesting, because everybody has own preferences. Everybody has an own approach how to approach an album, a discography, a band. Are there preferences for the drummer, for the keyboarder, for the guitarist, for the bass player? Whatsoever. And I think it's always good to have that kind of exchange, and especially it's always good to prepare for such kind of sessions, so to re-explore hidden champions and to re-explore things that might have been forgotten already. And so therefore for me it was even some kind of a learning session to re-explore Iron Maiden music again. And yeah, Iron Maiden is a great band.
I mean, yeah, they are legends. And my biggest surprise when I was listening to the whole discography was the Virtual 11. I was like, Jesus Christ, the songs are nice. It's just Blaze that I don't like him.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it was the surprise for me, and I was also surprised that the Power Slave it's actually out of my top five, to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah, um, all right, you people, you if you are there still sitting, chilling, drinking, smoking, whatever you are doing, if you are still with us and you made it to the end, let us know which of the lists mine or Rainer's won the competition. And let us know in the comments below what is your ranking list and what is your favorite Iron Maiden album. Would be love to comment on that. See you in the next time, in the next episode, with the top 10 Iron Maiden songs with me and Rainer. This is gonna be fun. Iron Maiden's catalog is huge. So let's see what songs we're gonna manage to squeeze in the top 10. Until then, rock on and up the fucking irons.
See you then. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me. Bye bye.
Have a good one. Thank you
Have a
so
good
much,
one.
Rainy.
Thank you.